I'll be so happy to hear that. Oh, when you put in your application within 3 weeks, maximum 1 month, we are there. We have given you your title.
That's good, because sometimes me myself, I forget that I have put an application process. And so if you are key in it, so this is refreshing to hear. In this segment, maybe I'll just ask the questions, and any of our panelists, if it's within your domain and you want to pick it up, that should be okay. We have some 4 questions. That's text. Maybe when we are done with the text, we could also go to voice, and then you unmute, and then you can give us your questions. So I'm going to take this from our past chairman, John Christian Akwa. Does the commission have M&E and research units? If they do, what are their impact on the work of the commission? At the CSAU, an applicant for title registration is made to pay all bills. Once it's made to pay all bills, one-stop shop. The technical staff who goes on field inspection from LRD also demand payment. Okay, so maybe let's handle, is there an M&E and research unit maybe that will pick these complaints, and if they do, what's their impact on the work of the commission? Is it, I think, Sylvia Jones, I'm sure this, you can address this, the M&E and research units, how functional are they? And the CSAU, can we have a one-stop shop so that these payments are more coordinated?
Yes, thank you very much. So we have a very robust M&E unit at the commission. What we need to do is to translate that to the various divisions and the various units. We are in the process of doing that. The MAE unit is getting reps, in the process of getting reps at the various regions and the various units to be able to address some of these issues. But if I understand Sylvia Kwa's question, I think what he's trying to say is that even though all payments are done at the CSAU, which is supposed to cover all services that we run, when they get to LRD, they are being asked to make payments again for field inspection. What I'll say is, we, as part of our fee structure, we don't charge for field inspection. So the applicant is supposed to provide transport to take us to and from the site. And I expect that is what exactly is being done at the land registration division. So you pay upfront for the processing of the documents, but at a point, if your application is such that it requires a site visit as a result of maybe conflicting records information, and the officers want to confirm, on the site what is actually happening, then the onus is on the applicant to provide transport.
Right. Thank you very much. Okay, please add. Yes.
Since it's my officers who have been doing those things. I have had an occasion to query such behaviors of the technical officers, but when you want to probe, then the applicant who reported the matter will say, "Oh, well, you leave it." So the problem there. So I know sometimes they should I say charge them or ask for money, but we've been talking to them. But it's a human institution. Some people would take it, others would decide to do whatever they want to do. But I will plead with the public that if such things happen, please, 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 you need to report. If you can record them, because in one occasion, the man said, "You demanded for a certain amount." The officer said, "No, you said I should take it. I didn't ask you." So who is telling us the truth? How do we determine who is telling the truth? So if it's possible to record it, and when they are being reprimanded, please don't come back and beg because you think it will lead to their dismissal or some form of punishment. Let's report such requests.
So thank you. This question, I think you also have to handle it for us. Gameli wants to find out in the regions where we do not currently have title registration, what happens to lands that went through a complete deed registration when the said regions are eventually declared by the Lands Commission to come under the title registration? Will those registered deeds become useless, or will the commission grant a special approval to cover or secure those deed registered land under the new title system?
I think you have even answered it. In fact, that's what we should have done with the title registration process in Accra, even when it started in Accra. We should have moved all deeds, registered documents to title registration. But I hear the challenge was that you cannot even get the addresses or the contact numbers for the applicants to be able to take the document through a certain process, so they couldn't do it. But I believe now we have addresses, we have telephone numbers, so if we have to convert to title, it will be a bit easier than before. So yes, you are right. That is what we are going to do. We need to, in fact, we have to first and foremost convert all title, deeds registered to title, to become title registered document before we even start with the new ones that are coming up. So we don't have conflicts, because now we have deeds registered and somebody picks the land, especially when it's not developed, and somebody had deeds registered for them. They are now coming to do title. Somebody already has obtained title on their land. So we have these issues in the system alone.
Thank you. When I take this last two, I think those also.
Can I add something to what director said?
Yes, please, go ahead.
In addition to what director said about not getting the names and addresses, under the deed system, as I explained, it's more about the documents, not the parcel per se. So previously, it became difficult because there is no scientifically defined boundary of the land to which you are referring to. So it becomes difficult to do the conversion. But under the Land Act and the kind processes that the Land Commission is putting in place, the barcoded plan, ensuring that all barcoded plans are used for registration, or approved plans are used for registration, it will become easier when we are doing the conversion, because the registered deed will be associated with a particular parcel, which would then assist in the conversion from the deeds to the title. And Section 99 of the Land Act provides outline the procedure to be supported by an ally to ensure that the processes becomes easier. And you also see that the chapter under deed registration in the Land Act also says that we are going to, in the deed registration process, we are doing the title with necessary modifications to suit the deed system, so that at the end of the day, the conversion, when we come to maybe Eastern region, it will become easier because all processes would have been as close to title as possible. So then that would ease the problem of the conversion. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So those in-house, I think you can also give us your contribution, or maybe if you have a question, so that you are here drinking the soup with us. So I'll just pick some questions online, and then Sylvia Hackman, Sylvia Wa, and the rest, if you have some submission, you can let us have it. But I think Jojo Blewushi, your question seems to, I think your question is on collection of monies, which have already been addressed, because you said, I am a VS living around the Traco estates. Recently, we had a group in our neighborhood who claimed to have come from Lands Commission Secretariat. They were receiving monies from us, claiming to be mandated to collect on behalf of Lands Commission and the allodial title owner. Please, can you clarify whether the Lands Commission is aware of this? So I think this one has largely been addressed. Lands Commission will not commission that. Am I right? You don't collect monies from, yes, so Lands Commission will not do that. Isaac Irenchi, I want to know if the Lands Commission is involved with the Pram Land Secretariat in what they term as regularization of lands in the Dowenya area. And if so, what is the role of the Lands Commission in that project? Panelists, do you have any idea of Pram Land Secretariat in what they term as regularization of lands in Dowenya? Any idea? No, we don't have any idea on that. Ezekiel, I want to ask Ezekiel Apia. I want to ask why publications do not contain coordinates for verification.
Let me attempt something before maybe the director comes in. Yes, what has been agreed upon now is that the GLP or the unique parcel identifier will be part of the approved plan from the Survey and Mapping Division, which would then be also be part of the publication that will be in the newspaper. So at the end of the day, you can know exactly based on the approved plan that you have submitted for title registration that this is your parcel that is being publicized. In addition to that, we are developing the portal. You can go on the website where you enter the GL pin and it will take you to the exact parcel that has been published. So you can drive there and be certain that is it your parcel or not. So these are some of the innovative activities that we are trying to put in place. And that is why I couldn't join you at the secretariat. So we are working on that. We come back, report to management next week, and then we see how soon that can be put into practice.
Okay, all right. So as I said, the questions that are on, do I need to pay? I think Deputy ES spoke about that. He said that, look, let us approach the right officers, because these questions you ask, if you go to the right officers, you will not be paying monies that you are not supposed to pay, because you're asking whether that's Bruno. You're asking that, please, after land title application, when my application gets to the cadastre, do I have to pay even after I've submitted my document, which has the barcoded site plan? Yeah, so I think it's the same. You just make sure that you deal with the right people and you get the right answers. So please, any here, let's see. Okay,
Thank you.
right.
First of all, I want to find out from Sabiana Abukari. Someone asked me to do a search, and when I did a search, it looked like it fell somewhere. Or it fell. Half of the person's plot fell in the person's who he was buying from. So it looked like when I found out from a colleague at the Lands Commission or the Survey Department, he said that the old one, it looks like it was a compass survey. And because now it's a GPS survey, this one is more accurate than that one. It's not just in Accra. I did a similar thing in Eastern Region in Brekuso. A similar thing happened. So I want to know what the SMD is doing about it. That's the first one. The second question is, I think in registering our land, Prof talked about we speeding the process. One of the things that delay us is getting the barcoded site plan. I want to know officially, how long will it take to get a barcoded site plan when you have submitted your EX data and the beacon and then the index and everything? How long will it take to get a barcoded site plan? I think if we get the time, then we can be able to tell how long it will take us to register our land. Now, the last one, just the third one, it goes to the director. I live in Newtown. And because they know I'm a surveyor, a lot of people approach me from Newtown, Mamubi, Nima, who have bought professional. So they asked me about their lands. How do they register it? Because their parents bought it a long time ago. They don't have any document. When you run a search on it, it comes out empty. There's no name on it. How do they go about registering their lands? Thank you.
We don't have documents.
You can go ahead.
Okay. was it compass survey vis-a-vis, was it GPS? All of them can be very accurate. It depends on whether you did, whether it was, it depends on how it was done. Compass survey, some of the issues, you say you are a surveyor. I guess you know why compass survey may not be reliable. That is, if you do survey, a survey with your compass around by the magnetic items here and there, it could affect its accuracy. Nonetheless, compass survey could be very, very, very accurate. Same for GPS. GPS is supposed to be now, well, the most modern, more or less the most modern method of survey. But it also depends on the approach, because with GPS we are going to go and then you have a, what do they call it, closing, and that's why when I did talk about heated through when you have to do a survey, you would have to have gone to identify, this time you people call it control. You would have had to identify controls and do a test of what we do is a test of beacons to be sure that indeed the pillars of, okay, to be sure that the beacons from which you are starting or you want to end your survey, they actually are accurate as presented with the coordinates that you have. So this is one question that depends on the way the survey was done. You can't say it's because it's GPS or it's because it's a compass. It just depends on. And when we come back even to the how long? Well, maybe I would want to be a bit conservative and say, give yourself approximately 1 week. But then that also may depend, because if you go and do a whole very large checkup for the survey, you can't come and be demanding that the regional surveyor goes through your competitions and other things so quickly. And I did even add that you should know that the regional surveyor has the right to go to the field and make sure that you planted your pillars according to specification. Yeah. So maybe 1 week, I think reasonable.
The area where some people don't have documents to register. How possible? So how did you come by the land? Not you, I'm not asking this question directly to you, but if you have to register, you know that a surveyor, you have to advise them to do their barcode plan. So after the barcode plan, most people do statutory declaration. You need to recite how you came by the land. So you have to come to Lands Commission, and with a statutory declaration, with the attached barcode plan, we can start the process for you. But I would advise you, please ask them to talk to the officers of Land Registration Division first. So, because sometimes when you ask them, even they may have a certain document, they don't think they can use that. They are looking at it, but they don't even understand what it is. So having a discussion with them, they may be able to bring us a certain document that would help us to do the registration. But with the statutory declaration, indicating how they came by the land and all that, we can use that to register.
Thank you very much. We will take the next, but online, Mohammed Abdul Fauzi Saki. We acknowledge your question, but I think Director answered all these questions, so we didn't want to. You want to know cadastral plan, barcoded plan, and the security. I think somebody wants to know Ellis, why Ellis is not in some regions. I think that most of these questions have been exhaustive, so we wouldn't go through that. So I will take two here, then we go online, and those who want to ask by voice, we can proceed with that. We're still sticking to our time of 4 p.m. Yes.
Okay, I'm Ezekiel.
Oh, it's a different Ezekiel.
I'm the same person.
Hey.
Okay. Okay. I want to make one suggestion and then ask another question. During the registration process, I think the first stage of it is the first verification searches that's done. When you check, you see that the first registration searches goes to 3 people. That's one at PVLMD, one at SMD, and then one at LRD. And I understand the system has been digitized now. So I just want to suggest whether one person can be given access to those records so that it will reduce the time that's spent on the first registration search.
Rather think it will even prolong the process because we have a lot of applications coming in a day. So if you allow just one person to be working on one search or FRRV, it would take a longer time to finish it for you. Especially when I am not in that division, because they have the knowledge of where to retrieve the, sometimes they would need a manual to add it up to the digital process. You know, we have scanned some of the sheets. Some of them are not as clear as you might wish. So the person in the officer in that division, it's more informed as to how to get the, for instance, the manual to add to the digital to be able to. So it's a rather waste time. But what I would rather suggest is for the superiors to be checking the officers that are responsible for doing these FRRVs. So if we give you a week to clear your console, is a week. They come every day, and it's the same officers doing searches as well, and doing plotting and doing inspection and all that. So sometimes it's a big challenge.
Okay, and
Prof, maybe to add to what
my last one
Director has said, may I?
Talking about the one asking the question. So please go ahead, Sylvia Jones.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof. So just to add to what Director has said. So currently in our current state, it is impossible for one person to run searches from the 3 divisions, because if you know how the structure is, every division keeps its own records. So like Director said, you can have one person from one division getting information from all the 3 divisions. But moving forward, it's going to be possible. Why? It will be possible because we're going to merge the records from these 3 divisions into one record for the Lands Commission. And at that point, when we have one records unit for the Lands Commission, it will be possible to have one officer do the search, and then we can have that information from that consolidated records for the Lands Commission. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are privileged to have been joined by our GHIS Vice President, Surveyor Kofi Ayrebi. So thank you for joining this session. All right, so very brief because you have enjoyed online and physical. So this one I will give you half chance.
Okay, and my second question is this. We were registering our family land. And the first registration search was done. In fact, there was actually no records there, which means it can go ahead. But when it got to land title, we were given letter to survey for it to be plotted. The moment it got to letter, when it got to survey, then all of a sudden we realized there is a plotting there. So, in fact, we became curious, and then we started checking as to how come somebody all of a sudden plotted something that's already not been there. So when we checked with the lodgement number, we realized the people who plotted it as survey used someone's lodgement number, and that person has already finished his registration, his land title registration part. He has taken his certificate. So they used that old lodgement number to come and plot it as survey. So in this case, if you realize someone used false means to acquire a certificate, is there a way the Lands Commission itself can reverse it without going to court?
Thank you.
Welcome back.
I think it should have been possible. It should have been possible. Unfortunately, in fact, there are two schools of thought. Or I should rather say there are conflicting judgments. There are conflicting judgments in that regard. Some of the judgments seem to be saying that the Lands Commission itself or the Chief Land Registrar could suo motu on her own cancel the certificate because it's obtained by fraud. On the other hand, other judgments are saying, no, we, the courts, have this responsibility to, even if it's obtained by fraud, we would have to look into it and then pronounce on it. But you, as an officer of Lands Commission, do not have the right to cancel the certificate. I am looking at, I think we have discussed amongst ourselves that these two judgments, conflicting judgments, we need to, Lands Commission would have to take it up one day to challenge the other position that we cannot cancel it. Because I think looking at our laws, we believe that we are mandated to cancel, but unfortunately, we are having a conflicting judgment in that regard. So we will have to take it up as the Lands Commission to see how hopefully the provisions in our law would be used, and then we'll have a final judgment in the Supreme Court. And then we'll be able to cancel such, because sometimes it is even an anomaly from our own system, but it's gone. And so far as it's gone, if you ask them to bring the certificate back, sometimes it's the lawyer will write to you that and quote you a certain section and say that I cannot bring it, take my client to court. And so that is our challenge sometimes.
Take the first lady in-person question. Oh, you are not asking. Okay, all right. So we take Sovewa, and then are people raising their hand on the, or it's just text? Check that whilst we take the question. Yes.
Thank you very much, Prof, for giving me the opportunity there. My first question is the mother fowl digitalization. What's the timeline on it? Because from my personal experience, the mother fowl search is what delays the entire land title process. because the mother files there, and the following week is somewhere else, and it just keeps moving around. So I think if our Lands Commission directors could put a timeline to the digitalization of the mother file, I think Lands Commission can come up with something. So that's my perspective.
Okay, so maybe Surveyor Jones, if okay.
Yes,
So,
Prof.
I think you
Oh,
even mentioned it.
No, madam, go ahead, please.
Yes, I think he even mentioned it, that we are trying to scan the way. Oh, in fact, to be frank with you, we did a budget. Just today is Thursday. I think it went on Monday or Friday. I think some of us, mine went on Friday, and yesterday the audit officer came back to me that I need to put some names to the budget. So we've done that. So we are scanning. What my bosses agreed to do now is to scan the mother files in transfer units, and also all mother files, if your acreage is 5 acres and above, we should scan them until the project time when we are given enough resources to scan all files at Land Registration Division. Because as he said, I even jokingly said, oh, some files are potential mothers. So this is it. We are waiting for the big money, but for the 5 acres and above, and then also the files are transfer units now, I believe, Mr. Jones, I'm not sure when the money is coming for us to start, but I think it's very soon. Maybe next month might be too much. Next week, I'm not sure, but we are on it.
Okay, that will really change the face of things at the Lands Commission. And secondly, it's a contribution to what
No, it's so Jones, you want to add something or we go ahead?
No, please go ahead. Madam has said everything. Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
Any contribution to the professional surveyors getting in touch with the moving on? They need to get closer to the licensed surveyors. I think they can't just sit on the fence like that. They need to get closer to the licensed surveyors. It's not all the time that maybe a licensed surveyor can employ you. You can be able to work as a freelance, which is happening in other countries. You can work as a freelance with a licensed surveyor based on per job basis. And then that can also take you through. You can't wait. You have to get closer. I'm sure when you make yourself visible, they can also think through and then see what they can do to support professional surveyors who one day become licensed surveyors. So that is another add-on. And also with the standardization of the cadastral plans, the templates are there, the technical guidelines are there. So a licensed surveyor cannot falter. If you falter, then the law will take its course. The LI is there, 1444 is clear. So I think as licensed surveyors, we are very much on top of our game to deliver excellent job. And you need to collaborate with the regional surveyors. If you don't collaborate, you will not get the right results. You have a job coming in, call the regional surveyor. Oh, this is the plan that I've done. Discuss it with the regional surveyor. Don't let it become new to the regional surveyor. They say, please sign for me quickly. It doesn't work like that. So you need to collaborate. So that's my add-on.
Advocacy license surveyor. Are you sure all your license surveyors are in line? Okay, once we are told they are in line, let's say it like that. Yeah.
See, so from what he is saying, you know, I will want to appeal to licensed surveyors. Let's go by that slogan: accuracy, speed, and integrity. And I will stress integrity. Please, when you intercept jobs to be presented to the licensed surveyor, we are not saying don't present it, but at least let him be aware you intercepted it. So that because the rigorous checks is going to be very different. And it is for your sake and the person, the regional surveyor as well. But when you intercept work from what the Goro boys, whatever, or the professional surveyors, then you end up giving us a whole hell of trouble. And let me give you an example again. When I was in Eastern region, there was this guy who called me. He wanted to know how much it will cost him to sign a plan of 23 or 25 acres. I think I told him by about some 500 or so. Then almost 2-3 weeks later, same person calls me. And this time he increases the acreage to 30. And I believe he thought maybe I would have forgotten. So I told him this time it will be 600. So, oh, but you told me 500. I said, well, even if it was 500, when did you ask that question? In fact, it raised eyebrows for me. So finally, he came with a plan. And so I decided to do extra checks on it. I asked one of the technical people to pick it up and then be very, scrutinize it very well. When he went and scrutinized the plan, the data on it set by computation was 25 acres. On the plan itself, it was 30 acres. In fact, and this was even a plan meant for a minister as at that time. So now, why did you even do that? And so when I had this issue, in fact, he made a licensed surveyor call that was his plan. So I called the licensed surveyor. Did you say this is your plan? Oh, yes, that's my plan. Are you sure it's your plan? He said yes. Then I told him the story. And the next time when I even called, he will not pick the call. You see. So in fact, we have to let that integrity guide us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now we are also joined by the Senior Vice President in the person of Dr. Anthony Akweje. So please, yeah, the cameras can show you. So I think Vice want to also give us his contribution, or if it's a question.
Yes, thank you. I think mine it's a plea concerning the question posed by my brother. The answer was there was a conflicting judgment issue. And I sitting here, I thought it is something that the Lands Commission can take it very, very quickly on it. Because this standoff, let me put it that way, that we haven't looked at that one, might be a cause for some of the delays, seemingly in the land registration sector. Because some of us feel very bad when Land Commission is being castigated everywhere we go. It is so, at times you are so ashamed to even try and affiliate yourself because of the statement from people who ignorantly have had some one way or the other experience liable. It's a harmless situation. The person who is following up don't know the conflicting issue. I believe situations like that, the Lands Commission can take it up with the law court and resolve it so that as and when situations like that come up, you are able to know exactly where to go as quickly as possible. That will be my comment. Thank you.
But I think he said that we'll pick that up, and I think that management is also listening. That is true, so that we can help clear our name and also not put people at a disadvantaged position. So that is well noted. Have you asked your question? Please ask.
Okay, thank you. My question will come starting with a preamble. We all agree that survey is taking a new trend. First of all, we started from the chain survey to the compass. Now we have both total station and then a GPS. I would like to know very soon, or we've already even started with the drone survey. I would like to know, is the Lands Commission putting up some technical measures for which drone surveys will be accepted officially? Let's say in the use of preparation of topographical maps or cadastral plans ahead of time, so that we can get there. We wouldn't get there and now we baffle that the technicalities that we didn't do this or we didn't do that. So I would like to know if there are those measures being put in place, that if we should submit a plan that is being surveyed with a drone, it will be accepted. And what are the measures that are put in place? Thank you very much.
Okay, before director answers, we are also privileged to have our past president Ohuabu in our midst. So can he please give us a wave? Yeah, right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, if I may ask, are you buying a drone? Yeah. Well, indeed, for anything that we envisage to do, definitely we are going to have standard specifications. I'm happy that the senior vice president is here. In my intro, I thought of mentioning what that as the work that are still hanging. But if you want, ask the senior vice president what he's doing in that regard. You can answer. Okay. Then maybe he will even give you an answer. Okay.
Thank you, Director of Survey. It's true, we have been commissioned as a committee to help the commission with technical guidelines. We started some time back, and the use of drones was one of the things that featured very well in the technical standard. So we are working on it. And not only on that, actually we stopped, like the director said, we stopped somewhere along the line and we have been asked to continue. So once.
But is the pipe there or there's no pipeline?
No, now there is a pipe. Now there is a pipe. So once we start, I think we got to about 60%. Then we stopped for almost about a year, right? Right. But we have been asked to continue. So I'm sure that within the next few months, those guidelines will be ready. And I'm sure one of the processes that when we do that, definitely we will let you know and then give comments about it before finally they will we can come out with the final document. Thank you very much.
Okay. Microphone, please. Are there hands up? We take our last two questions, then we can take the final words from our panelists. Are there any hands up online? Okay, so we take the last but one.
Okay, so this is just a quick follow-up. Often than recently, we've seen that there are drone pilots in the country. And then we've got permission from Ghana Civil Aviation to license drone pilots. I think it's something that the institution can also take up to train pilots, since we are surveyors and we are, let me say, the primary custodians of survey works in the country. But that has not been the case. So I will plead that if we can take it up.
Are you a pilot? Okay, that's well noted. Maybe we can take advantage, but it may not be within our domain because we use drones for different reasons other than cadastral and other land purposes. So to wholly say that it lies squarely on us may not be, but like what Senior Vice was talking about, within our practice, we can find a way through the Director of Surveys, as he has commissioned, to have guidelines, specifications, and ways of getting it right. That one is within our district. But whoever flies it, once you fly, we are looking at your end product. If you can get the end product well, that is the one we are going to process. But of course, if you say GhIS, all the top shots, past president, all of them, they are here. So they are listening. So thank you very much. Any other? I think we've had a very good day, and you can see that the questions have been well digested. So I want my tired, you see. So I will go to Surveyor Jones of Oriboidu to give us his final words. Then Dr. Benjamin Quay will also do same. Then we come in house and then we can conclude.
Hello, my hand has been up. You can see.
Okay. License Surveyor Musa, maybe if you can be very, very, because we are
Okay.
close to radio. So
Okay. Mine is like either a comment or a contribution or a question. Somebody asked a question and talked about a lodgement number that was stolen from a past client and used to plot at survey department. It is gaining notoriety. I have a client where somebody has registered a big chunk of the land, over 300 acres. Meanwhile, we had already plotted at SMD, signed by a director. And when we checked, we realized that the person stole the lodgement number back in 2014. We went to Ghanaian Times to check. The lodgement number belonged to somebody who had plotted, and it was even about less than 2 acres. And they took that lodgement number, assigned it to this over 300 acres, and actually got a title on that. Meanwhile, we checked at SMD and we realized that their site plan, their plan is noted for plotting. It's not even plotted, and yet they have a title. It is causing commotion in town. So we need to, I think this is the right platform to raise it. We need to be serious about that and look at that. How come somebody doesn't have a cadastral plan and yet he has a title over 300 acres? Please, authority, let's look at this.
It will be addressed. They've signaled me that they will look into it, and that's. They are also suggesting that Surveyor Musa, if you can make a formal complaint, or maybe maybe.
We have raised that complaint with Madam sitting there.
Okay.
Madam is aware of that. Yeah, but I will.
Maybe you come and approach the bench, though it's not the. You approach the bench and then before you put pen to paper. So that is noted.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay,
Sapong Apia. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Please, you have the floor.
Okay. My question is, I want to know the effect of search reports from the 3 divisions, because so far as I am concerned,
but this was even discussed, the 3 search. I should make, okay. I think his next word. No, but we can respond.
And the second question is,
we didn't get the first one well, the search.
Oh, okay. The first one was that the effect of the search report from the 3 divisions, because so far as I am concerned, before a certificate is issued to an applicant, the land must have been plotted in his name. But here's a case whereby you could find out that a search report from the SMD will be in somebody who is different from the applicant.
Okay, the last one.
The last one is, assuming you are buying a property from a proprietor with a land title certificate, is it appropriate to also require a deed of assignment from him? Or you can only acquire the certificate and come and do transfer at the Lands Commission?
So, you need not get the deed of transfer or you need not do the deed of assignment. You can just pick the or a part transfer form and fill it and get the certificate. I'm saying that our law requires you to do, use the transfer form. But Ghanaians as we are, you would want to get a document itself so that both of you will sign that document. But you need not. If you use the transfer form, and both of you can sign and you can attach the certificate and it to be okay. So it's superfluous. I mean, you can add, but if you don't add, but I think you would want to keep a document as a Ghanaian so that in future you can use it for whatever purpose you want to use it for. But you need not, if the process, our registration process will not say that because, or will not punish you for not bringing the deed itself.
All right, so I think from what I see, we are good to go.
Last
now.
question, sir.
So,
Please, this is Sylvia Saponapia. I have my last question. Am I permitted?
no, let's answer your, you said the effect of the comprehensive search. You know, it's in different.
Because before the comprehensive search era, we were doing individual searches. And I mean, it wastes time, and I'm sure paying you might be paying 3 times. So we decided to put all these searches together as one comprehensive search. And based on what the search report or results is, you would want to decide whether to go ahead or not. Because you know that we had, we were different agencies. I mean, land sector agencies, Lands Commission then, which is now PVLMD. Then we have LRD, land title, we have survey, we have valuation board and all that. So now that we have become one Lands Commission, we would want to be doing things in common. We want to have a comprehensive search for all of us. So you will not say, oh, when I went here, it said this, but here is this. So if you do a search and there's a title, we would have gone through those searches ourselves, because we have already told you that we do FRRV where the 3 divisions will do, or we do searches from the 3 divisions. So we have looked at the search from SMD, for instance, and then the search from PVLMD. And because of the processes that we have, the rigorous processes that we've gone through, we think that the person deserves a certificate or not before we decide to give you the title. So if you don't take care, you might think that we are confused, or we have done something wrong. But so far as this title, I believe we would have looked at the searches very well before we took a decision to give you the title. So but we are saying that if you don't understand the implications of it, you might have to approach, for instance, the CSAU officer, the manager, or an officer from LRD or even PVLND, or the officer in charge of the consolidated search for explanation to what you see.
So thank you. We will take the final comments. Dr. Benjamin Quay has issues with his internet, and so we'll take the Deputy Executive Secretary, Surveyor Jones of Oribuidu's final comment on today's discussion. Over.
Thank you very much, Prof. And I want to say a big thank you to LSD for giving me this opportunity. What I want to say is that the Lands Commission is doing a lot just to make sure that we make land administration easier and much more friendly to our applicants. And surveyors are our partners. I would want to entreat all of us on this platform to collaborate with the Lands Commission, and then let's together be able to deliver to bring land administration to a place where it will be accessible by all applicants in the country. Thank you so much.
So thank you. We will now take Director SMD's final words.
Mine is a short one. Once again, I want to say that I'm honored to be here, and I just do hope that we have gotten enough of what would guide us to get to do things easily, whether in whichever region that we may find ourselves. And what I will encourage is, please, the structure of the director of survey is there to answer technical questions relating to survey. Please, let's not go and give it to somebody else, and then you get to hear it through another and another and another. Sometimes you never get the solution, because if it doesn't get to the director of survey or management, the issue is going to persist. So please, let's make it a point to refer technical issues concerning survey to the director of survey or his representatives. Thank you.
Thank you. So our only lady panelist will have the final words.
Thank you, Prof. I have been privileged to be a panelist today. I have learned a lot from the discussions, and I believe participants have also learned a lot. And you do it every year. Is that it? Every month, is that so? Okay, so I think, okay, all right. So hopefully next time we would come on board as well. Hopefully, if we are okay, we are around. I would want to take this opportunity to educate the general public that in land registration division, we have a number of issues to deal with. One has just come up here, that some officers still collect monies when they go for inspections. We are going to address it. I'm sure they are listening to us. We are going to address it. And especially me as a person, let me take this opportunity to tell you that people have been using my name. And when you complain, they say it's people in responsible positions such as you. That's what people do to them. To say that the director says, bring it. The director says before she signs your certificate, if you don't bring so and so amount, she will not sign it. I've been hearing this a lot. And sometimes this news kills me, kills my morale, because I don't do those things. I'm sorry, I have to use this platform to do this. If you have any issue, please, my doors are opened. Come directly to me. You just have to book an appointment, because you know the number of people that come there every day. Just book an appointment, come and speak to me on your issue. Don't use an agent, don't use an officer who claims that I said. I beg you, because it is not right. It is not. If you have any issue concerning your registration, please just book an appointment with my secretaries, and I will be glad to speak to you, help you resolve your issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. But you know, we are on all the digital platforms, YouTube, and so you are not out of order. They are listening, and the stakeholders and those in the subset of this meeting is huge, and it will be propagated. So thank you, CPD, for also putting me in as the chief driver to drive this wonderful people in this discussion. I started by saying that Margaret Mitchell said that land is the only thing in the world that amounts to anything, for it is the only thing in this world that lasts. It is the only thing worth working for, worth fighting for, and worth dying for. And finally, Proverbs 22:28, don't cheat your neighbor by moving the ancient boundary markers set up by the previous generation. By that, we will set our registration process on a good footing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we can do it better. We can do it better. We can do it better. On my own behalf and on behalf of the CPD committee, I want to use this opportunity to thank the panelists and the resource persons for your time, your dedication, the presentation, and the in-depth knowledge shared with us this afternoon. Want to say God richly bless you, and we believe that next time when we call on you, you will gladly accept our invitation and come and educate us the more. I want to, before the panelists get up, use this opportunity to call on Surveyor Joseph Award to give us the closing prayer, after which we'll take the anthem and then we call it a day. Shall we be on our feet as we pray? Omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent God, we thank you for this afternoon. We thank you for taking us through this all-important CPD to discuss land administration in Ghana. We pray that you will guide us so that we will be professionals with great integrity. Service with integrity will be our portion at all times, so that we can be able to effect positive changes in the land sector as LSD members and as GhIS members. We pray that your touch will be upon us. We thank you for the knowledge. We thank you for all that we've learned today. We pray that you will indeed imbibe in us all that we need, so that going forward, we will transform Ghana, our motherland, so far as land registration is concerned. In Jesus' name we pray with thanksgiving. Shall we say amen? Thank you very much. And I also want to use the opportunity to sincerely apologize to our online viewers. I think we had issues with the numbers. Later, we have to try to devise other means for you to join. But then we'll surely send the recordings online for you to be able to go through them again. Thank you very much. The anthem.
Thank you very much. Those in-house, I think we have some small snack down there. So make sure you pick yours before you go. Thank you very much. God bless you.